The trophy awarded to the champion of the NCAA tournament isn't really much to see, even after it was redesigned about a decade ago from the plain hunk of wood they used to distribute. And still it is alluring to those who've never earned one, and incalculably precious to those who have. So even if we all regard the vacating of records and championships as stupid and hollow, even though we all are well aware Louisville won the 2013 NCAA championship in men's basketball, because we watched the game, and we saw Peyton Shiva's father cheering for his son, and we saw Luke Hancock make all those three-pointers, it still matters that this result is no more. More Villanova's Jalen Brunson leaving field behind in Player of Year race. The decision by the NCAA Committee on Infractions to vacate that title, last June, was unprecedented. On Tuesday the Infractions Appeals Committee denied Louisville's appeal of the directive to erase men's basketball results and records involving the 2012, 2013 and 2014 teams, along with a six-figure fine imposed upon the school. There have been 79 basketball titles contested, and more than a half-dozen contained problematic circumstances that could have resulted in a championship being removed. But always the NCAA allowed it to remain. My conclusion had been that the organization had no desire to invalidate the winner of its most popular and lucrative event. Then came Breaking Cardinal Rules. The book, written by self-described escort cat and appalling journalist Dick Cady, described incidents of exotic dances performing for Louisville players and recruits that occurred at U of L's basketball residence, arranged by a person who then was a member of the university's basketball staff. Appalling. Interim university president Gregory Postal called these circumstances. And that's why the NCAA yet again got it wrong in the Louisville case, its appeals committee upholding a penalty that was largely unwarranted months after the infractions committee completely bungled its responsibility to issue an appropriate punishment for a case best described as, what was the word? Naismith Player of the Year Bagley Brunson, a young among list of 30 candidates. Appalling. Postal said again, in case anyone missed it. That sense that this depravity had been allowed to infect the Louisville basketball program trumped any legal or logical argument the school or its attorneys could make before either board. In reality, the members of the Infractions Committee were too busy holding their noses to properly dispose of the case before them, and the Appeals Committee obviously was too disgusted to correct the errors that were made. From a technical standpoint, given that it was found by the NCAA that members of the 2013 championship team had been involved in the parties at Minardi Hall, it was within the purview of the Infractions Committee to consider whether those athletes had rendered themselves ineligible. But how did they arrive at that decision? It's pretty obvious. They were appalled. What they missed in pursuing this particular penalty, though, was what truly made these episodes so disgusting: the involvement of recruits the basketball program was pursuing. There's an instance described in the Infractions Committee report in which one prospect was disinterested in what was occurring but was cajoled into participating. For these offenses, Louisville essentially got time served. I cannot say this strongly enough: we believe the NCAA is simply wrong to have made this decision. Postal said in announcing the appeal had been rejected. We felt the young men who achieved these victories and the thousands who supported them deserved our best effort. The university appeal, however, was challenging from the beginning. The facts of this case are terrible, causing many to find the detail of the appeal not compelling. Postal took the high road when some presented questions that attempted to conflate this case with the NCAA's lack of standing in North Carolina's AFAM academic scandal. It's a ludicrous conceit, one that now looks to be the foundation of every half-baked defense for college athletic chicanery. Hey, you didn't bust them, so why us? Why you? You had strippers in the dorm. This is one of the difficulties in the NCAA, Postal said. If you look at legal cases that take place in civil court, which we have so much more experience with, there's a large body of evidence to show what happens in specific circumstances. But the NCAA, the cases are so different from one another, the circumstances are so unique, it's really difficult to draw comparisons. I'm sure that drawing a comparison amounts to much. This is not the first time the NCAA has attempted to rewrite history, but it is new to revisionism on such a grand scale. In the past it always has been a Final Four or NCAA tournament appearance, either of those consequential but none entirely invalidating the organization's showpiece event. The problem with this tactic is it clearly has no deterrent value. Louisville is known to be the institution identified as University 6 in the Justice Department documents released when 10 men connected to the sport were arrested last autumn, and there are incidents described involving an assistant coach at that school discussing in July, a month after the announcement of NCAA penalties, a payment to the family of a prospect who ultimately enrolled at the school. That revelation led to the school dismissing veteran coach Rick Pitino, who had taken the Cardinals to 3 Final Fours and the 2013 title. It's not known whether that recidivism played any role in the appeals decision, or whether the committee members stuck with appalled. But it is apparent it did not stop other untoward incidents from developing. Louisville ought to have been banned from the 2018 NCAA tournament in response to what occurred, with its players having a full summer to find new basketball homes if they wished. That was the way to go. Instead, this penalty encumbers the uninvolved players and coaches whose hard work produced that championship for Louisville. College basketball is not a better place because Louisville will have one fewer championship banner hanging at KFC Yum Center, one fewer trophy in the basketball office.